So less than 24 hours after the carnage in El Paso, another tragedy. Our Yamiche Alcindor reports from Dayton, Ohio.
30 seconds, 9 shot dead, and a community reeling from yet another mass shooting. This time, the violence unfolded early Sunday in a busy nightlife district here in Dayton, Ohio. Police fatally shot the 24-year-old gunman soon after he opened fire with an automatic weapon. He was just steps away from entering a popular bar, Ned Pepper's, in the city's Oregon district. Anthony Reynolds had just left the bar when the shooting began.
I know it's gunfire, so I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, what's going on? But then you hear right after that, it's just repeated like shots, like high-powered shot, boom, 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 boom. So we just start really running. I'm grabbing my cousin, we running, and I just start yelling at the people in front of me, like that's a mass shooter.
At one point, he was just 10 feet away from the shooter. The shooter's own sister is among the dead. The motive is still unclear. Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley said the quick response by the Dayton police prevented scores more from dying.
I'm completely grateful for the Dayton Police Department. 6 police officers, 5 of whom have been on this force for only 3 years, ran toward the shooter heroically, not with the kind of weapon he had, but with the weapons that we've given to them to stop this, and they did that in 24 seconds.
The shooter wore full body armor and carried a .223 caliber rifle with magazines holding nearly 250 rounds of ammunition. Hours later, police tape outlined the epicenter of the massacre. Yellow cones marked the 41 shell casings found in the area. A pile of mismatched shoes scattered the sidewalk, evidence of the rush to escape the scene. Also in the aftermath, shock, sadness, and calls for action.
You don't expect that to hit you at home, but unfortunately it's become the reality of our world.
Pam Brooks lives in a high-rise building in the Oregon district. From her window, she witnessed the chaos. She now feels moved to personally push for change.
I've seen people tell you to get in touch with your congressman and that kind of thing, and I've never reached out to anyone representing me, but that has changed already. I sent off some emails and text messages this morning voicing my concerns and asking them to get back to their jobs and get some legislation in place so that other people don't have to go through this.
Hallelujah.
Sunday night, the community held a vigil near the scene of the shooting. Some, like Teresa Smith, were still in shock.
I know love is greater. There's so much bad and evil and divide, and it doesn't have to be that way. All of these people are innocent people who just want to live and enjoy life, and it's like it's being cut down.
Susie Lane heads the Dayton chapter of the pro-gun control group Moms Demand Action. She hopes the mass shootings will spur both Congress and Ohio legislators to act.
Right now in Congress there is a universal background check law that the House has passed, and the Senate has not taken it up yet. That's a first step. We also need that cultural change where we understand that guns aren't the answer to our problems.
I'm here representing all the people of the state of Ohio.
Meanwhile, earlier at the vigil,
do something! We're here tonight.
The group shouted over Republican Governor Mike DeWine. They demanded he pursue gun control legislation immediately. After the vigil, DeWine told a Columbus Dispatch reporter that he is open to discussing gun control policies, like expanded background checks. That willingness to enact some reforms was shared by other Ohio Republicans. GOP Senator Rob Portman Sunday.
There aren't enough laws. And in fact, no law can correct some of the more fundamental cultural problems we face today as a country.
Reynolds, who witnessed the shooting, said he is hoping President Trump will himself seek change.
So he has to change his tone from the top, because you're in a seat that is powerful, you're in a seat that means everything, it represents this country. So if you're not holding it up for everybody, then that's a problem.
He added that all of the country's lawmakers must act to prevent these massacres.
After these cameras cut off, we still forced to sit here and work with each other and figure it out, because these cameras ain't gonna be here forever and the light ain't gonna be on Dayton forever, because with the rules that we got in place, this gonna happen somewhere else real soon.
Everyone I've talked to here in Dayton is just shocked that this took place in their hometown. Many fear that just around the corner, another mass shooting could unfold in another city, Judy.
So, Yamiche, we heard Anthony Reynolds tell you he's concerned with President Trump's rhetoric. How much of that sort of frustration are you hearing from people on the ground there?
Over and over again, I've been hearing from people that the president's rhetoric, as well as his inaction on gun reform, is part of the problem and part of the reason why they feel like these mass shootings continue to happen. People here in Dayton are juggling a lot. This is a city that has a booming and rising immigrant population. There's also largely white suburbs that are opposed to a lot of the city's pro-immigrant policies here. And then you have the city really dealing with a number of things that have really hurt the city here. You have the city dealing with a KKK rally that stirred up a lot of emotions. You also have the city dealing with a string of tornadoes that hit it and caused a lot of damage in May. And then now you have this mass shooting. So there are people that are looking to the president to change his tone and really help with the healing in the city that's just dealing with so much.
And Yamiche, you know about the challenges in that community. You were just there last week reporting on, talking to voters. How much hope do you pick up from people that maybe these two terrible shootings could lead to some change?
People here definitely want to see change, but they don't feel as though there's going to be a lot of change. And that's mainly because people have been telling me after Newtown and after the shooting in Parkland, Florida, people thought there was going to be this big momentum and that Washington was going to pass all sorts of gun laws, and that just didn't happen. So now they're hopeful that lawmakers will at least hear their voices, but they're not sure whether or not they'll actually be able to really make real change.
Yamiche Alcindor reporting for us tonight from Dayton, Ohio. Thank you, Yamiche.